We have an amazing dragon attack at Town Hall 10 3-star. This is what you do to a base, pretty much a mass dragon. I mean, 9 dragons is quite a bit, and look at the beauty here. Now, the danger of this base, it looks strong, anti-3-ish, but look at the weakness here. Now, this is great stuff from Lando here. Lando the man, using the queen on this side to get some archers, and he realizes all he needs is King and the bowlers to take down the 4 air defenses together. So the split heroes, because if you brought the queen up north at 12 o'clock, her value would have been pretty much nothing. She would not have gotten any of the wizard towers, but because getting those 2 archer towers really makes a big deal for those dragons, and the bowlers with the rage and the jump able to get down all 4 air defenses. You can use dragons at Town Hall 10. I've showed you queen walk into dragons, and this was an anti-Lalo base shredded to bits by the mass dragon strategy. So if you see bases similar to this, go for it. Now, look what he's got. He's got all his spells pretty much, all but 2 for his dragons, bringing 2 rage and 1 heal. I like the heal because a lot of times in this intersection, certainly right here, look at this. The Teslas and the Expos would have caused a lot of damage to these dragons and keeping them alive as they're full health going into the last Inferno Tower. Now, it did definitely get down to the wire because some of his dragons, again, dragons can be rather fickle. You know about it. We know about it. Everyone knows about it. But again, even if this was not a 3-star base or 3-star success, we would run it again because it was such a weak base to the dragon attack. Again, you don't. I know that's kind of an old. It's still a popular meta using all air defenses on one side. Typically, you want to actually spread them out just a little bit. You can have them on one side, but not all clumped together. Because if you have them clumped together, look what happens. You can just use king and bowlers and get them all down, and then look, all these dragons. Now, he did have 4 dragons up, but fortunately, these dragons didn't drift around. That's what I said about the danger section. I mean, he had 4 dragons. He crushed it. But if for whatever reason there was black bombs there and he didn't create the funnel, because you notice in the raid he put some minions down, helping funnel and pushing the dragons into the core. So just be aware of that when you're looking at the bases. Try to find those. You can use archers to do that, minions, and you can place those down at the beginning of the raid or towards the middle. That way it'll path nicely for your dragon. So keep an eye out for those. But there's a strategy for you. If you see those sort of bases, go for it because you can dominate for sure. Now we're just showing some more Town Hall 10 attacks. Going to give you some variety here. This is your standard witch, bowler witch strategy at Town Hall 10. Now, typically on these bases, what are you looking for and where are you looking to enter? Well, you're wanting to get down wizard towers. Now, could you take this base down? Could you come over here from 9 to 6 side? Yes, you could come from 9 to 6 side if you wanted to. And the reason, even though you're facing both Inferno Towers, you could do it because there's quite a bit of value over there. But typically, on most of these, not always, but usually you come in towards the one Inferno Tower at a time. That's usually the best method. There are slight variations depending on the base design, but you notice, look what's happening up here to the north. Now, the danger of bringing your witches up to the north, there's just not value as much. Look at all this stuff to the south, getting great value, and with the healers there, the wizard towers don't have as much damage, and they won't take down your witches. So, even though the wizard towers are there, those are the most dangerous. You will definitely keep, as long as your healer stays alive, and typically most people still don't put air bombs on the outside. You don't see it often because it makes it more vulnerable to an air attack. But look at this, my friends, and yes, with the second jump, gonna get so much value. Again, if you can kind of an anti-bowler witch base is gonna make it where your second jump does not open the last Inferno Tower to the enemy queen, or to your queen, if that makes sense. So you try to want to keep that away, but on this base, it was low weight, so easily smashed. I mean, look at this. It looks like he had all his giant bombs. He had 1 giant bomb in the middle, but it looks like the rest were on the outside perimeter. But he just kind of bypassed this northern section, realizing the value up there is just not as good as in the south. So total domination right here. He did end up losing a bunch of these Canadian Nomad, she ended up losing a bunch of the bowlers because they landed on the giant bomb. But it still was able to get the job done, and very nicely done from her. The Mrs. the Queen, the Maestro, Canadian Nomad. Okay, I'm going to show 88 Kel 88. Well, look what he's got. Queen walk into dragons. Now, you've seen my Widowmaker attack. Could you do a Widowmaker on this? Yes, you could. I think you could. You could easily do it. Bring some jumps in, bring some funneling in, but gonna queen walk instead. And what is the main difference? Why the queen walk and not the kind of the GoBoDrag, the Widowmaker as I call it? Well, sometimes if maybe he wasn't aware of or just comfortable with using that, I get it. You know, sometimes I'll say like, you gotta use this or this is better. But again, if you're not comfortable with it, if you're not comfortable with air, you got to practice in friendly challenges and then use it, implement it in war. You don't want to just, learn a strategy off the bat unless you're pretty competent and can quickly learn and go into it. But the queen walk will get some very good value. Get some archer towers, get some air defenses. And it looks like probably he's going to wall break into the compartment so we can get some more of those those inner core air defenses, of course, because when you're using dragons, you got to get the air defenses down. And there comes the first wall breaker, nicely done. Here comes the second wall breaker, and look at that. Queen will step right in, get both air defenses, and that is brilliant queen walk indeed. So all air defenses are down, and honestly, the only troubling section left is this air defense over there. But it's okay. Gonna bring in the dragons here. Looks like there's a hound in the CC, so not even have to worry. Right? Was there a hound in the CC? I don't think yeah, there was. So just steering clear from that. Just using dragons over there. Of course, a great spot to put that in. You definitely don't want to activate it by a ground troop. That would be disastrous. It just would lock onto the queen eventually and cause serious problems for your base. Or for your attack, I should say. But again, pause it. King, all he's doing over there, creating the funnel to make sure the dragons push inside the base. It's pretty standard stuff, my friends, pretty standard. Again, if you're using dragons, you've got to path them. They're pretty dumb animals, pretty dumb creatures, pretty dumb attackers, or what are they? They are not smart. They are no Smog, right? Smog the dragon. They are not indeed at all. So just be aware of that. So what that means is you just have to make sure you funnel them properly, or otherwise you're going to run into quite a bit of problems. And look at that. Nicely done, nicely done. 88 Cal showing us how it's done with a nice queen walk dragon attack at Town Hall 9. And yes, brilliant. Shall we show another Town Hall 9? Let me get some water. So this is your beloved. This is the beloved. The Go Wee Wee attack. I think I've seen this base before. Someone copied this base. I have seen this in CWL. I believe someone copied it. Yes, I know for a fact I've seen this base. But anyways, am I a fan of the spam attack even at Town Hall 9? No, I'm not. I know our attackers use it. But I really wish Supercell would get away from it. It's just not the best thing indeed at all. It just doesn't take skill. And, Clash of Clans, you definitely want to separate the skilled. You want to push people to get better in the game. Witches, yes, they're used. I do like variety of attacks, but the spam attack is just very, very dangerous to implement in the game, because it doesn't require as much practice and skill. So that means less time involved. And honestly, if meta changes, maybe you have a great attacker. They're like, amazing 3-star Town Hall 9 attacker, but then what happens? Meta changes, witches get nerfed, buffed, or whatever, or nerfed, or whatever. Yeah, they get nerfed. And lo and behold, your once great attacker, you find out, well, man, they're not that great, are they? So I've always encouraged you to get practice with a variety of troops. You want to practice with both air and ground. Now, air is La Lune. Definitely get that going. And the ground is the Hog. So if you don't know how to do those, my friends, watch my videos. I've got a lot of videos on that. So make sure you watch the air and the ground, whatever Town Hall level you are, and it will go well for you. You don't want to get stuck in the rhythm of using the spammy attacks. This did come down to the wire, but still, you don't want to get stuck there, because one day you'll find out that you're not going to get so great for the clan, and you don't want to let them down, so practice up while you can. And, well, we'll just end it there. Appreciate another view. We'll see you next time. Halo.